Can I ask you about House ethics? Obviously, Leader Jeffries announced some assignments on the committee today, but Republicans have tried to gut the committee with, various provisions that they released. Obviously, George Santos is now a member of Congress. You guys talked about, obviously limited things you could do before he was seated, but now he's a member of Congress. What are your plans?
I'm going to yield to Vice Chair Liu, who talked about the Republican rules package in the Office of Congressional Ethics. Kevin McCarthy owns George Santos, lock, stock, and barrel. If George Santos wasn't seated, what would the math have been for Speaker McCarthy? He would have had to flip another vote or get two people to vote present. I mean, this is he owns George Santos. That's the only reason why he was seated, is to give George Santos that ability to vote for Kevin McCarthy. So let's call this exactly what it is. There should be repercussions. The state and federal governments and the law enforcement agencies should look into it. The FEC should look into this. I know that there might be an ethics complaint that's filed here as well, but this is an incredibly serious issue from someone who clearly is divorced from reality and sanity. But this is at the feet of Kevin McCarthy, not just George Santos alone. Vice Chair Liu.
Thank you, Chairman Aguilar. So the Republican rules package says that you cannot hire any staff to the Office of Government Ethics after 30 days. Why would they do that? You should ask them, what is the rationale for doing that? Well, the rationale is to shrink this office, because if anyone leaves after 30 days, they don't get replaced. And eventually there's going to be no one in that office, because they don't want the office investigating people like George Santos. And as Chairman Aguilar noted, arguably George Santos was the deciding vote for Kevin McCarthy for Speaker. It was also disclosed yesterday that when George Santos was fundraising, apparently his fundraising person was telling folks that he was actually Kevin McCarthy's chief of staff. So if they were using the telephones, which I assume they were, that would essentially be conspiracy to commit wire fraud. So what George Santos did was not only unethical, it appears to be highly illegal. And you have ethical investigations, but also you have what looks to me like criminal liability. I think Speaker McCarthy needs to talk about what he thinks about George Santos and really put him up for condemnation or an expulsion vote from this Congress.
Just one last point on that. If George Santos wasn't seated, I might be giving another nominating speech, and so we could still be going at this. Garrett and then Leanne.
Nobody wants that.